Hi. Most of the videos that I watch are just people commenting on the breakdown of society. And I'm not really interested in much else because my brain doesn't even think anymore about like what's something I would like. I just go to channels that I'm aware of. I don't have an algorithm. I go to channels that I'm aware of, and sometimes that leads me to discovering a new channel. Sometimes I just search for new channels, but pretty much, well, the note that I had for this video was the channels I watch just comment on the breakdown of things and offer nothing reassuring or uplifting. And that's like a note for like, hey, make a video about this. So clearly I like to make videos. They don't get seen. Either that's because they're not very good and people don't watch them, or they're just invisible because they don't understand how things work on YouTube. And I make free YouTube videos, and I like making them, which is maybe a selfish, vain, maybe even narcissistic thing that I would think that anyone needs to hear what I think when everybody else comments more thoughtfully, and they get paid to make videos, because they have monetized channels. And I'm not dissing that. So they make better quality videos with more editing, and I just keep it as simple as possible, and sometimes I put slides in or a GIF or something. And I keep making videos because I try to offer something that I don't get from the videos I watch, which is something uplifting. Even channels that are called themselves Christian channels, a lot of people watch them and they love them and they donate money to these guys and stuff. And they never really offer anything uplifting. They'll talk about themselves and how great it's going for themselves, but they don't really offer anything to what I would call the common man who isn't being communicated to by God like the way that they say that they are. And some of those guys, I believe that, God is working through them to get things done. And their videos and podcasts are very insightful, but not uplifting. It's informative. And some of the stuff that I watch is just dreck. It's just like the worst stuff. And when I mean, it's like, here's some YouTuber you never heard of, and then here's a video of Kino Casino shitting on them, and then I'll watch a couple minutes of that until, usually I shut it off. I'm like, okay, I've seen enough. I don't know who that guy is, but yeah, he sucks. And then I shut it off. Or, Pod Awful, finding people to humiliate that are weird, and Cool Set. And that's what I call it, the dreck. That's just the trash. And then there's other stuff that's supposed to be, thoughtful and intelligent and hopefully somewhat funny. But none of that stuff that I watch comes from people who would call themselves comedians. It's just people who also happen to be funny with what they're talking about. But one of the things they said before is that most people have become a wit because everybody has a phone. So it makes everybody, like if you're commenting on social media, if you comment on posts and stuff, which I don't do, few and far between are the live streams that I've left comments in. Like I've only ever done it a couple times over the last 5 years. And when I mean a couple times, I mean like 2 or 3. And I always feel guilty about it. Like you shouldn't have commented. You shouldn't have been left comments in a live stream in the chat. You shouldn't have. Maybe they were helpful, but I always feel like that's what, that's stupid. Leaving comments on a video is different. I like them, except when they're not good, when they're negative comments. But sometimes I like those too, and I leave them. There's comments that I don't like that I left up, or disagreed with, and just, sometimes I'll answer them back, sometimes I won't. Like somebody was left comments about what Jesus' name was or whatever, and I was like, that's just a bullshit comment. Just say Jesus. You need help and you're under distress, say Jesus. He knows you're talking to him. Oh, but I always say Messiah this and Messiah that. I can't stand that guy. I can't stand that guy or his beef tallow to rub on your face company bullshit. I can't stand that guy. And there's like several guys like this, so But, you know, we need to be informed about the world we live in, but we're like encouraged to. We're not supposed to by God, but we're supposed to by our social engineers. I don't know how else to say it. We're supposed to watch stuff that alarms us and just it's like keep taking the beat down, and then it's like keep watching content to break you so that you give up and just realize that it's a foregone conclusion. There's no point in fighting back. You can comment it on it if you want, but don't do anything about it. So I tell people to pray because I do feel like it's weaponized technology, and the wealthy elite whose fortunes shape the fates of nations know about prayer, and they don't want you to pray against them that their plans would fail. They want you to pray to Baal. They want you to pray to a pantheon of Hindu demons, but they don't want you to take it to the top, because if anything's going to get shit done, it would be taking your prayers to the top to God. And if there's enough of them, like enough volume of prayers, then maybe God will call one of you back, and it'll be better for all of us. And then God will speak through that person, because, you know, old men will dream, young men will prophesy. That's probably still true today, even though we're in Revelation 20. And Jesus already settled the earth and ruled with an iron rod for 1,000 years. And if, you know, like I'll watch some Christian content, and like I always used to watch Jay Dyer, but I haven't watched that guy in years because I don't know what I think of him anymore. But his information, I used to always tell people, go watch Jay's analysis, because he would talk about globalization and, you know, Christianity stuff. But this is a guy who kisses pictures of the Virgin Mary, so, you know, and he works for and he gets a paycheck from Alex Jones. So really, you know, I can't watch that in good conscience. I can't watch that guy anymore. Something's off. But it was, you know, like there are channels that have valuable information about, you know, politically what's going on in the world, and he's so sharp and it's so together, and he's very dry, and I don't think there's a funny bone in his body unless his wife fucks him in the asshole. But it was good information. But, you know, everybody goes through these periods of like, I just need no more internet stuff. So I've worked really hard. I'm making this video October 21st, and I know that I have it scheduled for March 30th, which is Monday. And then I'm taking a break because I have 3 videos a week and sometimes more until, well, now with this video, March 30th, which again I said is a Monday. So I'm taking a vacation from videos because I'm tired of people commenting on the breakdown of things, which is kind of what everybody does, because you can't ignore it. Like, you know, like we need to be informed. We're inclined to want to hear about things. This is the disturbing, alarming thing, because, you know, like, can I do something about it? Okay, yes, what am I going to do about it? Can I do something about it? No. Okay, there's nothing to do about it. Can I do something about it? But sometimes it's just too much. Like, you know, I get it. People are being made dumber. The kids are having any idea of future being taken away from them. BlackRock said in the future own nothing. They're buying up all the real estate and nobody's stopping them. Every president we get's a bozo. They want us, you know, the authorship for New World Order website has said for, you know, since you could read it online in the early 2000s or whenever it was first put online, it said a series of small-scale conflicts at all levels at all times, and that's what they're doing. It's like people with money, means, and resources are using and spending their money, means, and resources that they get from us paying tribute to them through, you know, various means, so that they can just destroy the world and break it up into pieces and send as many people as possible to hell, which is ultimately what's at the core of it. Nobody's leading us anywhere. None of our leaders are leading mankind or lifting us up, edifying us. All of our leaders, all the richest people in the world are saying, how can we send as many people to hell as possible, and how can we break the will of the people, you know, globally, and make them eat fucking bugs and tell them in the future you own nothing and you'll love it. And these filthy bastards should be tied to the piers for high tide. And yet, we're supposed to bless those who curse us, because whatever the devil wants, we want it taken away from him. The devil thinks he's got that guy. The devil thinks he has Larry Fink. No, we're going to take Larry Fink away from the devil and give him back to Jesus. And then maybe he can die a holy martyr, because something needs to happen to that guy for being such an evil prick. And he's hardly even coming close to the worst one. People talk about Elon Musk is evil, and I have videos of thumbnails with Elon in it, and he's Dr. Evil from Austin Powers and everything. He's a Bond villain. But he's like a figurehead guy. Like, he's not one of the rich. He's one of the richest people in the world, but they kind of put him there. And he's not as sharp as he, like they want you to think that he's like some kind of genius guy or whatever, and he isn't. The richest people in the world, you don't know who they are. And because they don't put themselves on the Forbes 500 list. Maybe a couple of those guys show up on there or something like that, but it probably takes about 5 guys to run the world, and they stay home and it looks like they're watching TV, but really psychically they're manipulating processes all over the world or something. Could work like that, who knows. But all the armaments and the weapons and everything are not there to protect us, to protect the nations that have all the armaments. It's to protect the power of the people in charge. And, war is always some kind of ritual human sacrifice. So to have war at all levels is just, let's sacrifice everybody up to God. It's called a short season. That's what we're in. So they know that it comes to an end, and it's supposed to be short, relatively in terms of what God, God's on his own time, and he can change time. He can do whatever he wants. He made all this stuff. But even in the book of Revelations, those demons know that it's called the short season. So they're on the clock even if they don't know when God's coming back again. Maybe they run simulations to try and figure out, how to beat God or whatever. And then they will fail. But sometimes I just get a little bit burnt out. Like AI makes music now, AI makes videos, AI makes comedy, you have AI write jokes and stuff like that. And it's not everything. I think AI has its limitations, but what it's really good at is making fake videos of stuff, so that if you see something real happening that's horrible, they can say, well, we really sacrificed a lot of people, a lot of babies' blood and stuff, shit like that. We sacrificed a lot of children to get the technology that makes convincing, so that you can fake videos, so that when you see what these guys really are doing, they'll just say, that's fake. And guess what? You're going to jail for watching it, because you just watched something illegal. That was active violence against a child that you saw fill-in-the-blank politicians, celebrity, wealthy elite do together at a party. So since you watched it, round all those people up, and because they know the truth now. Next sacrifice. So, I try to do something uplifting and edifying, and I say, pray to God that he would change ritual sacrifice so that it no longer works, so that people can't be ritually sacrificed because they're not getting results anymore. Like, shut it off, Lord. How many people are you going to let be sacrificed? How many children for, like 1,000 years or whatever, are you going to let be sacrificed to demons so that we can get advancements in technology to enslave us, basically? Because that's what the game is. The game is simply this, and it's not a game, it's serious business to everybody. It's serious to God, and it's serious to the demons. Get as many people as possible sent to hell. And if you want all the earthly things, then you got to take your part in that. You got to do oral or anal. That's what Lil Tony says. I believe him. But we knew that already before he said it. But it was the way that he said it that we believed him. And I don't know if you know this, but Lil Tony isn't even a real person. He's AI. And Taylor Swift's a dude. I'm just saying that. I feel like people analyze Taylor Swift. How come you can't analyze her body and see that that's clearly a man's body? Anyway, I'm recording this in October of 2025, October 21st to be specific. and you can see them trying to set up, oh, there's something in the sky. Are they going to take the bait of aliens or people not on board? They need to get our collective attention towards it to make these kinds of things work. So they keep trying to make the alien invasion thing work, and they have deadlines. Like, they want to make sure that we own nothing by like 2030, right? That's one of the agendas. So when you pray to God, this is the thing I try to offer that I feel like I don't get. I mean, lots of Christian podcasts, there's too many to watch. I would never watch these guys. But I'm sure they tell you to pray. But I'm trying to offer something that I don't see being offered in other podcasts. I'm telling you to pray specifically. Like, pray that their plans fail. Lord, this thing called Agenda 2030, I pray that it fails. Lord, they're trying to do the fake alien invasion thing, whatever that means. Is that your camp of the saints coming? Are we the camp of the saints? Call me back, Lord. Beep, and you leave another message on God's answering machine and hope that he calls you back. And there's a whole bunch of YouTube bozos running around saying, Holy Spirit told me this and Holy Spirit told me that. And some of them I believe and some of them I don't. I mean, he told us old men will dream, young men will prophesy, and whatever else he told us that people would do. So I believe some of it, but I pray for discernment. Maybe, like, no matter how much I think that I may have, I need more, and I ask wisdom for wisdom. I pray for wisdom. God was pleased when Solomon said that's what he wanted. Look at what he did. Look at Solomon's mismanagement of things, and he had wisdom from God, and he still messed it up over a pussy and magic, and bowing down before false idols when he had a direct line to the creator and maker of all things, and instead he was bowing down to false idols. And then God said, all right, that's it. And the rest of Solomon's life was a mess. And the same thing happened to Prophet King David, because tits. He was looking at somebody else's wife taking a bath on a rooftop, and he just had to have her. And he was given like 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out, to not kill the guy, and then the guy is dead. And next thing you know, Prophet King David is adding probably a lot to the Psalter, because there's probably a lot of him praying for his life to get better, because he messed up big time when he had that guy killed just so he could fuck his wife. And that's Prophet King David, from the Bible. So I try to, I don't know what to do, and maybe I'm not very creative, and maybe it's a lot of fun for me to make videos, and I'd like to say that it's work. I suppose that editing is work, but if I really like to do it and it's fun for me, and like editing is entertainment for me, like I wish that I knew more things that I could edit in funny ways, because I like doing it. It's like drawing a cartoon that you think is funny and laughing while you draw it. But it's editing, and everybody knows about editing because you can just do it in your phone. I do it on the computer. And your phone is a computer, your phone is the internet, and I just feel like people can get stuff done so much faster if you just would edit shit on your phone. But I'm old-fashioned, and I like not being online when I edit. I don't want to do anything on my phone. Just phone calls, and I want a phone for my phone calls, not a cell phone. I hate cell phones. And I just don't want it to be underestimated how valuable prayer is, even though probably for most people it feels like you're leaving messages on God's answering machine and he just never calls you back, which is frustrating. But I also think that prayers for other people have effect. You pray to God and then never say, if it be your will. Stop saying that shit. That's stuff for Orthodox bozos, Orthodox clergy. Don't they dress funny? Do you really think that guys that dress like that are representatives of God? I don't think so. I think a guy that wears a black suit, this isn't Orthodox, but a guy that wears a black suit with a little white collar, that's the guy that asks you, like, hey, do you want to make a deal with the devil? You got to blow him. That's what a guy who dresses all in black, that's what the villain dresses like in the Western. He dresses all in black and has a little white thing in his collar. That's the devil's, that's an agent of Satan, I believe. And if you look at how the Roman Catholics dress, or the Eastern Orthodox Russians or Ukrainians or whatever, that's a men of God dressed like that? I don't think so. I'm sorry, I just don't think that they look silly. So that's supposed to be representative of God and all these fancy garments, and you go to church and the pastor's like, hey, they want you to call them Father, even though it says in the Bible, call no man Father except for God. Those guys want you to call them Father, and I don't do it. So I'll say pastor. So the pastor who wants to be called Father says, hey, can you guys round up some money? My garments are old. Is that a guy you want to go to church with, who says, hey, I need shinier new clothes if I'm going to perform communion for you and make a transmutation of bread and wine into the flesh and blood of Christ, and then come up here and kiss the pictures and worship the Virgin Mary, who's not even a virgin anymore, because Matthew 1:25 says, and Joseph didn't enter into Mary until after Jesus was born, which is implying right there in Matthew 1:25 that Joseph and Mary had sex. But if you look into Orthodox Christianity or the Catholics, which is satanic, it's Satanism, and there's a whole bunch of pedophiles in, the Orthodox Church as well. Oh, but that's the Roman Catholics, that's not the Orthodox Church. No, they're all a bunch of old queers. Sorry. And they're always looking for fresh meat to be quiet. And then they talk about Jesus, and they're cold and they're dead inside. I've supped with metropolitans and archbishops, and they suck. Orthodox, Eastern Orthodox metropolitans, archbishops, and I loathe them openly. I told God, I said, what do you want me? I can't pretend to understand the position they're in, but that's not right. And I have videos on this. You can watch other videos about my disappointments with Orthodoxy. Why would they want to help you cast demons out? That's who they talk to for advice. They talk to angels. I talk to, fallen angels. And they worship the ever Virgin Mary, and they lie. They directly lie in the footnotes of the Orthodox Study Bible. The words of God don't lie. That's not touched. But the footnotes telling you how to think about the words of God, they lie. And you can't argue with me about it, because I don't argue. But I mostly watch videos where people complain about things and they offer nothing uplifting or motivating, or hey, at least one day you'll be dead. I mean, that's reassuring too. When I was young, I just wanted to live, and now I'm old and I want to go lay down, but there are people that matter to me, and I can't go lay down because, I've decided, I'm kind of willing to die for those people. And for my King and my God, of course, too. But I know that He has value, that we would have value in others, that we would be, to lay down your life for a friend means you're getting in. Something like that, right? That's in the Bible. It's almost a direct quote. Lay down your life for a friend means you're getting in. And what's a stranger but a friend you haven't met yet, right? So don't worry, you'll get your chance. It's coming. And I don't want to be nihilistic and say that, just throw your hands up in the air and, give up, be hopeless, hapless, and heedless in despair and misery and dispiritedness. All these things are selfish and probably sins. So, do not fear, do not become dispirited. I feel like if God did give me anything without saying anything to me, it's that He's taken fear of a lot of things away. And again, maybe it's just getting old. And when you see how the world's falling apart, I care about people. I have little ones here. And I'm like, what the hell's the world going to be like for them? And I'm like, well, I'll do what I can. And what I can do probably isn't much, but I can keep bugging God about it every single chance I get. I can take it up to prayer and God and just press on God. He told us to do this. It's in Luke 18, the tenacious widow. So whenever I get a chance, I feel like my prayers are like an annoying buzzer to God. Hey, what about this? How about this? And I just offer ideas to the guy who made everything, who knows what he's going to do, and say, how about this to break their plans? Here's an idea to ruin plans of the wealthy elite, Lord. Surely other people have prayed like this. So I'm not very smart and or creative. But if I'm praying for this, then probably other people are too, because there's just so many people. And out of the people who pray, obviously people are paying attention to the state of the world stuff. But, even amongst that, there's divisions. I mean, people think they're going to get raptured. They're waiting for the rapture. Rapture, crapture. You know what the rapture is? It's a Debbie Harry song, as far as you're concerned. And that's where it begins and ends. It's a catchy tune, but I don't listen to music. I don't watch movies. I don't have cable TV. When I see movies and stuff, I see parts of them at other people's houses when I'm visiting. I don't play video games, so I don't do anything. And except that I like to make videos. And I'd like to say that it's work, except that I like doing it a lot. It'd be great to get paid to do something that I love, but I feel weird about, I do believe that those who, God will use whoever he wants to use, but I do feel like in ignorance, those who sell spiritual truth injure themselves spiritually, and it costs them something. But, I really have maybe I'm wrong about it. It's one thing to get the word out, but it's another thing to sell Jesus t-shirts. I don't like it. And then Jesus t-shirts with your logo on it to refer back to your channel. But, we got to do stuff to make money, to make a living. So, God settled the earth already and melted a whole bunch of shit down. So what does that mean for us? I don't know. Maybe it's different rules because we're in Satan's short season, where God knows that he willingly let Satan loose from, or let Lucifer, Apollo, or whatever you want to call him, let him loose from his chains for a short time to deceive the nations. And we are deceived. And I try to keep that in mind when I see people's videos complaining that they know that something's not right. But, I'm like, well, what else can we do except tell each other about this stuff and pray? And then there's stuff where people risk themselves and they take measures to really get loud about it and then do the right thing, and then, they get killed. They get sacrificed. And so God knows that we're being fooled, and he knows what's been done to people. Like I used to hate, oh, it's another diaper fur. And now I'm like, that's really messed up, that nobody wants that to happen to them. And then when it does happen to them, it's somebody that's so far gone. So God knows, we have free will choice, but what's a free will choice in Satan's short season when God knows that we're being deceived? He knows he kind of allowed us to be deceived. Well, I know he believes it will still come around to him, but now we're being set up for another really big deception where they want people to become Catholics, and they've been setting it up for a long time. There's a lot of people who are conservative speakers, and they say that they're Catholics, and I'm like, yeah, this is still synagogue of Satan people, and they're setting us up for a letdown. They want to round up a whole bunch of people for Jesus, and then they want to let them down so that they give up on Jesus. That's what I believe. And I do think that the alien invasion stuff, if they can pull it off, and maybe they never will, maybe it just isn't going to work because I pray about it. And if I pray about it and I'm not special, then a lot of other people are praying for this fake alien invasion shit to fail, and that it won't take. I mean, some people want to believe in aliens and Martians, but also people that want to believe that, if they see a thing and it's bullshit, they'll be like, that's a lie. And if other people are pointing out why it's a lie, then it'll be believed. So tell everybody there's not enough. Push everybody on top of each other and say there isn't enough, instead of letting us spread out and, teaching us how to, why aren't there things on the TV that tell everybody how to grow food and plant food everywhere? And if you have, all you have to do is have seeds and then plant them and make them grow. One seed can create a plant that bears a lot of fruit, and each one of the fruits in that plant has lots of seeds, And then, you know, like, it's dumb the way that we're told we have to live. We don't have to live like this. And, you know, the days are evil. It was always like that, except for, I suppose, for 1,000-year rule, where, you know, even then evil was trying to in secret work against God, which he surely knew about. But I'm kind of burnt out on watching other people complain about stuff, and I don't know what the world will be like by the time you see this video on March 30th. I guess I'm kind of tied to that date now. But, you know, I'm doing this video in October, and they're talking about, they're propagandizing to us that, oh, there's something in the sky, and we don't know what it is, but we know that we don't know what it is, or what it's shaped like. We have some idea it's really far away, but it's probably weighs 33 million tons. Come on. There's that 33 shit again. I don't know what the internet looks like now as of March 2026, but there are multiple compilations you can look up with the same data, and what the videos show you is, like, look up 33 compilation, or Freemasonry 33 compilation, and they always use 33 this and 33 that. So what do you know? There's a piece of junk and floating in outer space that's a spaceship or whatever they want you to believe, and we don't know anything about it, but we're concerned, and it weighs 33 million tons. Shut up. Go look at look up 33 compilations. I should just throw 6 of them in here, but I'm not going to edit that into this video. So some people really do work hard in their videos, but is it work if you love what you do? Yeah, I suppose it can be. Is it work for me? Probably not. It's still pretty easy for my free hobby that I do. What it costs is my time. It takes time to edit videos, but even, you know, I edit it, that takes however long it takes when I edit, and, you know, and then it takes time to export. But while it's exporting, I can do like 6 other things. I'm jacking it now. No hands. It's tantric. And I don't know. I'm kind of, and I know I have a video in December about, or was it January? I'm not sure. Where I just talk about internet burnout, seasonal internet burnout. And it's good that people would have this, because we're not supposed to be overstimulated so much. We need a break from the internet. And some people don't take a break from the internet. It's where they get all their good feelings from, as well as, you know, cortisol, dopamine flux. You go back and forth. Yeah, that's by design. It's a series of small-scale conflicts at all levels, not just in the world around us, where they want us all to fight each other about stupid shit that doesn't matter anyway. You know, whatever. But they want the small conflicts to be within inside of ourselves as well, not just in the world outside, but within inside our minds. And then they want us to go talk to strangers on BetterHelp.com and get a trans psychologist and cross over from being human into something else. What's the something else that we get to cross over into as a transhuman? I'll tell you what it is. It's just a degraded man or woman. Nothing else. There isn't anything else to be. You're a man or a woman, or you can be degraded. Even if that means injecting bunny DNA into you so you're part bunny rabbit, or whatever bullshit people are going to do. Because that's coming. It starts out with a hormone replacement therapy, and then they say, oh, you got to be on it for your whole life. It messes you up. What do you think it's going to do when people furries start injecting dog DNA into themselves and making bathtub pet shop replacement hormones? I'm going to be a fish. I'm going to be part fish man. My whiskers are coming in. Look at that. So anyway, I'm tired of complaining about stuff. So it's October, and I have at least 3 weeks, sometimes more, uploaded until March 2020, till the end of March, because this is March 30th video. I'm taking a break from the internet, and what I'd like to do is come back with videos that were more uplifting of man and more edifying and more helpful. I don't know how to do that or what that means, because all I know is like watching videos about complaining and making videos about complaining. It's the easiest thing to do. You just sit down and you turn on the camera or your phone, whatever you use, and then you bitch. So I would like to make, I don't know, I know, sort of like my old age project or whatever, an age where there's no retirement, would be to kind of, I don't know, maybe make a couple short films or something. I've talked about it before. I do make things and then nobody ever sees them. Maybe I could take it to another level. The whole thing with me is like try not to spend any money on any of it. So I don't spend any money on my free hobby. I used to, when I used to get the hits years ago, and I think at the most I ever had like 1,000 subscribers, 1,500 subscribers I think was the most that I ever had. And that was when everything was being taken away from me because YouTube was just like fucking with my channel every way that you could. I was like, why don't you just outright shut it? Why don't you just shut it down? Like, why don't you just, you know, who am I gonna complain to? So, anyway, what kind of videos do you watch? Do you watch like game hacks or whatever? Oh, I watched the walkthrough for a game. Okay. That's just another way of watching a movie, right? Watching other people play video games. Just like watching a movie where, I don't know, whatever. Where actually the characters might die because it's somebody playing the game. So it's like, I'm watching the Resident Evil part, whatever, and the guy died like 6 times before he got to the end of it. Very intense. Very fucking lame. And then there's the new words they have for masturbating. They call edging and gooning. Tantric gooning, edging and gooning. And demons are watching you beat off. I told you this. They're laughing. And also they like it. They're horny. They wish they could put their hands around your thing, and you know, they want to have human experience. So people are getting possessed. People are crossing over from being humans into some kind of degenerate species, degraded mankind. And they're, you know, it looks pretty grim, but at some point God steps in. But sometimes I feel really disappointed. I feel like I know that there's something I'm missing, but it seems like God is just like He allows it. Oh, it grieves Him. Look at all the horrible babies that got horrible things happened to a bunch of babies today. They got sacrificed. They got murdered. Israeli soldiers shot Palestinian kids in the head, and bad guys keep winning, and He allows it. And, oh, He feels terrible. Sometimes I feel like we're all pawns, where God's trying to prove a point to a bunch of sons of His that failed Him, and we're just cannon fodder. I know that's the wrong way to think about it, but sometimes I think about it, and sometimes it feels like that, and I bring it to God, and He never really answers me back, and I've never seen anybody's YouTube video that answers that. So maybe I need to stop watching for a while. So, you know, probably like, hey, I'm gonna stop watching YouTube for a while, and then next time I check back in, they're like, oh, guess what? The Martians are here. And if you watch my channel, you know that the aliens are demons. Yeah, they're aliens, but they fell to Earth. They didn't come from outer space. They're not up there. They're down here with us. And they're not us. And they're evil. And they just want to get as many people as possible sent to hell. So you tell me what videos you watch, what channels you watch that are uplifting without being delusional maniacs. Because I know that some people want to be uplifting, and those people are crazy and they're maniacs. And no ASMR qualifies as uplifting content. You're the best. You're the greatest. You're gonna go out and get them. Oh, you're so big. There's a lot of that stuff out there, and don't you believe it? I know you. If you're watching these, I know you don't. But I've seen some pretty crazy stuff where whether it's a man or a woman, they're trying to like pep talk you, and then it's probably just like the only people that really watch that stuff on the regular are like stroking to it or something. People are so. And God knows this. God knows how fucked we are. So I think, you know, like, should you or I get into heaven, we're probably going to be surprised by who's up there. Surely our Lord is gracious and merciful. But also I wouldn't be surprised if there's some people who we thought were going to get into heaven. I hope it's not you or me that don't get into heaven. Like, I hope you and I get into heaven, but some people won't. And we might be surprised by who doesn't get in. I just hope that your surprise about who gets in and who doesn't get in is I hope that we're both up there. Hey, I used to watch your YouTubes. I was one of those 30 people that watched your open mics on YouTube. Your public global access open mics. You're Scott Franklin Ray. Yes, I was a legend in my own mind. My videos were so cool that YouTube wouldn't let them be seen. There's a lot of people walking around like that probably, right? The truth of it is my YouTubes probably aren't very good. But it's nice every now and then someone will say, dude, your videos are way underwatched. You should be something. And I'm like, wow, it's great to hear it, but I don't know how many people I want shooting arrows at me. I feel like the world already hates me. Do I need to make it worse by getting the hits? Well, don't worry, it's not going to happen anyway. Pray to you want God, you want people to see my videos? Why? Aren't you embarrassed to watch them? You shouldn't be. You should pray to God, because if there's one thing I do that I will stand behind that I think is valid and right, that I don't get from the videos I watch, is that I tell you to pray to God and that you're limited only by your own creativity. And if you get creative in prayers to God, that creativity will increase. And, maybe He'll call you back. Because I know a lot of people on YouTube say, the Holy Spirit this and the Holy Spirit that. And I don't know what the hell they're talking about. But I keep praying anyway. And I do believe that probably the prayers you have for the greater world and for other people have more it's probably going to happen. Like if you want your prayers answered, pray for other people and for the world. Your prayers for yourself for yourself. I don't know what you're going to get. It doesn't seem to be working out for me. But when you pray for other people, I think it does help them. But never say, if it be your will. No. You just pray for what you want to happen. You don't say if it be your will. Why pray if you're going to say, but if you want to? No. You tell them, please, Lord, somebody's having surgery. Help them. Please, Lord, this kid has an arm like this. Please fix the arm. Use me to do it, Lord. I'll fix somebody's arm and I'll go back off to the shadows again. God will use whoever He wants to use. Could be you. Could be you. I don't know who's watching this. Who watches my videos next to somebody? You're probably alone. That's the future they want for us. Divide and conquer. But, I hope you're watching these with your sweetheart and it gets you guys to pray. And I hope that you make it sanctified, because you shouldn't be doing those things if you're not married. So anyway, I'm going to go. I pray to God that people pair up, because I know how lonely people are. They call it a loneliness epidemic, and it is global. I mean, Japan is patient zero for the loneliness epidemic, and look at how everybody likes anime in the rest of the world now. And what's anime about? Somebody from a normal world goes into a fantasy land and people want to blow them or eat their pussies, if it's whatever. Men and women are horny and lonely, and all they need is each other, and they don't trust each other, and they've been tricked by videos. They've been tricked by the manosphere and women making obscene TikToks and confessing their sins to strangers instead of to God. I mean, if you confess your sins to God, He can forgive you. If you confess your sins to everybody in the whole world and not God, then how can He forgive you? It's just everybody knows your dirty business. You got to say, God, I just confessed sins on TikTok and I want you to forgive me too. That'd be different. Who's doing that? Who tells you to do that? Probably guys who watch my videos and steal the content for their own monetized channels and sell you a t-shirt that says, everything's demons, Buster. Some bullshit like that. And yet God uses who He wants to use, and maybe He just doesn't want to talk to me because there's something wrong with me. I don't know. Or maybe He doesn't need to talk to me because He knows that I know that there's no other thing that I could possibly do but to take it to God and pray to God. And He's like, nah, I got Scott. He's good. I'll go help somebody else that doesn't believe, and I'll do a whole bunch of great shit for them and then never stop. But Scott's good. He'll keep eating shit. Yeah, I don't think so. Help me. That was to God. Sorry to interrupt the video to make a prayer to God, but I just did. Lord, please, you know what I'm saying here. I'm going to be held accountable for every word of this. Jesus, please. Help! know, like that. Use your own words. You're limited by your own creativity. Sometimes prayer is just crumbling down into a heap and say, feel me, Lord. And it's not you that's praying, it's your soul that's praying because of how you fucked it up so bad. So don't underestimate the power of prayer, I think would be the thing I'd want you to get from this video. That's why a lot of videos end with, we have access to the most advanced technology that's ever going to be available to mankind. And that is a direct line to our Maker, and we can ask for help. So do it, and just say Jesus. Just say Jesus. But Messiah this, just shut up. Just say Jesus. I'm not saying, yes, he is the Messiah. The Messiah. But, don't be afraid to say, but I don't want to offend God, and say Jesus. Look, when people are having night terrors and sleep paralysis and near-death experiences, and they're saying Allahu Akbars down into hell, say Jesus. The guardian angels, they're falling into the pit, and the angel's like, say Jesus, you got like 5 seconds. And then the guy says Jesus, and then he comes back and he's willing to deny his entire evil heritage. So all things are possible with the Lord, but you got to ask him for help. And if you're having an alien abduction experience and you call out Jesus' name, you wake up from your bad dream. So into another bad dream, which is waking life. The world is beautiful and they want to wreck everything. I mean, the plans for the city in the future don't have trees. They want you to have algae tanks and no trees. Do you really think we'll ever get that far before God intervenes? I don't. And I think that prayers to God to end this evil help. So get creative, and then maybe you want to share your prayers with other people. And then they're probably going to come and kill both of us. But anyway, eternity is so much longer than the short time we're here. Do not fear. Do not become dispirited. And probably try and take a week where you don't do anything except answer phone calls when the phone rings, and tell people, yeah, my texting isn't working on the phone. You have to call me this week. Yeah, I know it's a lie, but you need a break. And people will just send you, just don't read them. Just don't read texts. Maybe you don't want to lie. It's up to you. You have to decide. But sometimes lies are valuable. Sometimes you have to lie to children. What do I mean by this, lying to children? If you go to the supermarket and you see your friend's wife and their kids and they're like, hey, how come you don't come over anymore? What are you going to say? Say I don't come over anymore because your mom hit on me and it makes me feel uncomfortable, or because your dad cheats on your mom and I can't stand to be around you while he pretends to play family and he cheats on his wife? No, you lie to the kids and say, oh, I'm really busy. So sometimes there's socially acceptable lying. You have to decide for yourself, and you will be judged for this. But sometimes there's socially acceptable lying, and it's to children. Sometimes you gotta lie to kids. Imagine this: you go to the supermarket and you see your friend's wife and the kids, and they're like, hey, how come you don't come over anymore? And they say, well, I caught your dad cheating on your mom, and there was this girl that's not your mom blowing him, or some dude or whatever. And that's why I don't come over anymore, because it makes me feel weird and icky when I come over to your house because your dad cheats on your mom. Your dad cheats on your mom. Okay, bye. That's why I don't come over. Sorry, I wanted to come over. I think it's so much fun to hang out with you guys, and you bother me and everything. And it's great, and I love it. But your dad cheats on your mom, or your mom tried to blow me, or whatever it is. So you lie, because you have to. So anyway, it's probably a bad message to end the video on, but I'm going to end this video. So pray to God for what to do in life, and pray to God for the right answers. Maybe he'll call you back, but don't be surprised if a lot of times praying to God just feels like you're leaving messages on an answering machine. Just keep praying, and keep in mind that there's your own selfish prayers, but also there are your prayers for others. So you might be praying for people that nobody prays for, and it's probably to your benefit if you keep praying for those people. Maybe you don't even like them, but you're like, maybe I'll pray for this. Nobody prays for them. Or maybe it'll make, have a dispute with a neighbor in the next apartment or whatever. Or maybe pray, God, so-and-so is a jerk, and you know why. Please help them to stop being a jerk. Help them have a change of heart, because they're making me miserable. And so don't underestimate the power of prayer, and maybe turn the computer off. And pay attention to what kind of content it is that you watch. Is it just alarming, shocking content that makes you feel anxiety and produces loose stools? Yeah, maybe you need to take a break. I know that's my intention. Yeah, so I'm gonna take a break right before the fake alien invasion comes. But I pray for it to fail, so I feel like there's a lot of plans, things that they have planned, and they keep getting set back and they don't get what they want. Good. So, that is all. Pray to God. Amen to that.